101.5 FM.
Don't let the bullet.
He don't come home. Leave am like that, make it be like that.
Anywhere you are, anywhere you go.
Leave am like that, make it be like that.
Entertainment, music, exotic program and news.
Leave am like that, make it be like that.
Number 1 Church Street for Joyce B. Ibadan.
Leave am like that, make it be like that.
Make you not there, Yaramo.
Leave am like that, make it be like that.
Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Travel with ease, stress-free journeys. Your education, travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meet discover. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel, side by side each day. Travel with ease, learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Yeah. With Abiodun Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every with peace. Learn education and travel simple. Travel with ease, stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meets discovery. See the world the smarter way. Travel with ease. Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Oh, travel with peace, stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meets discovery.
Good afternoon, amazing listeners, and I welcome you to Travel with Ease, the program that takes you around the world without leaving your seat. And this is from JDN Radio 101.5 FM. I am Abiodun Samson, wherever you are and whatever you might be doing right now. In the next 1 hour, we'll be exploring exciting destinations, unique cultures, and hidden gems across Nigeria and also beyond. So whether you are planning a trip or you just love travel stories, this is your travel companion on radio, helping you travel smarter, safer, and also with ease. So this afternoon, I welcome you to Travel with Ease, your guide to a smarter and stress-free travel. So call everyone because we will be concluding on what we started last week on Travel with Ease.
Yo! Abiodun Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Travel with ease. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets prosperity. See the world a smarter way. Open your mind.
Welcome back. It's still Travel with Ease on your dial 101.5 FM, JDN Radio. And last week we started the visa application errors, and today we'll be concluding on it. And we will have the opportunity to speak with a travel expert via, online. We'll be able to ask one or two questions, so you can be ready sure that today that we'll be concluding on the visa application errors is going to give you an insight of those things that you need to know. And before we go into that, I will just do a quick recap of what we talked about last week. We go into the introductions of visa application errors. Yes, introducing you why most rejections happens, and main reason is that maybe when your application it's not clear, and you know that when you want to travel and one or two things are missing, even when you're not there to talk, those applications will actually speak for you. And we talked about the common mistakes that happens, mistakes like incomplete form, where you know that you're supposed to fill and you left it instead of just writing non-applicable, which is N/A. You just left there, and the immigration, they do not understand what you mean. And also we talked about your answer being inconsistent, where one of the major things I talked about last week, that if you are inconsistent from your visa form to your bank statement, to your employment letter, to your invitation letter, and also coming down to your travel itinerary, all of them must tell the same story about you. Where people get it wrong is that salary on form does not match the one that you have in your bank inflow. That is, if 300,000 naira is coming into your bank account, it should show there should be consistency in that salary coming in. And as you spend, they know that it's sure that you're going to feed, you are going to get groceries from the house, you are going to do some minor upkeeps, you are going to do some things, and it has to leave the bank account. So each transaction you are making is always good to put a good remark, so they know that you are using it for your family upkeep. They just want to get familiar with your financial behavior, like I said last week. And I also talked about some things that might happen. You altering your document and thinking it's not important, fake or altered documents. When you try to edit your bank account, they see it as if you're trying to impress them. Yes, that you are trying to impress them. And also I talked about how embassies think. That was where I stopped, and today we'll be looking at how they think. Then I'll pick it from there to the embassy red flags. Then we will be able to connect to a travel expert that would talk to us briefly on visa application errors and their ideas on why it happens. He was telling me an experience, but you will be hearing that firsthand. And if you have any questions that you feel you want to talk about it, we are live on Facebook on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and also on YouTube, JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And I'm also live on TikTok as Travel with Ease. On TikTok, just type in Travel with Ease and you will be seeing me there live and direct. And you can also listen to us via our website on www.jdnradio1015.com, and also on Radio Garden, JDN Radio 101.5 FM. It's still Travel with Ease. Call everyone, because today promises to be educative and also exciting.
Day or night, your trusted voice on radio. Samson on the mic every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets prosperity. See the world a smarter way. Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with ease. Travel with ease, stress-free journeys. Your education, travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meet discover. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel, side by side each day. Travel with ease, learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Yeah. With W down Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every with peace. Now education and travel simple. Travel with ease.
Welcome back. It's still Travel with Ease, and we are still talking about the visa application errors. Yes, we are still talking about it. And I said I'm going to continue from how the embassies, how do they think when you send your visa application? Now, I told you last week that the embassies are not emotional. Yes, they are not emotional. They are analytical, and they focus on two core questions, as in, are your documents, are they genuine? And they will check if there is consistency in your document and if your document is authentic, and you should have supporting evidence for any of your document. That is the first thing. And the second thing they do think of is that, will you return after your visit? Will you return after your visit? And this is how they use this to check your job stability. They check your financial strength. They check your family ties with your home country, and they also check your travel history. So if you fail any of these, the rejection is likely to happen. So what are the red flags you should avoid so your visa do not get rejected by the embassy? Now, when you decide to feel like, okay, you're traveling and you're supposed to have some amount of money, let's say 5M in your account, and people around try to support, and they send those huge amount of money into your bank account within 6 months. Normally they knew with their own kind of system that is kind of structured, you cannot have that kind of money in a short while. So it's going to bring a real suspicion about you. So one of the red flags is when you have a sudden large deposit of money in your bank account without any prior, like it's from the bank, it's from the office, it's from your place of work and all of that. It does not really tally, it does not add up. They start thinking, is it for money laundering or what? Or what are you into? So instead of trying to impress, you give them a red flag about you. So applicants sometimes, they borrow money to put in that bank account, and when they deposit large amount of money all of a sudden, and they print their statement immediately, the embassy will give you this interpretation, like they believe that funds are not yours. If they are yours, where were they? Why were the funds not in your bank account in the first place? Why are they just appearing suddenly, like appearing out of the blue moon? You just have that kind of money in your account, and they would start thinking maybe you are trying to impress them, that it's not as if you have the financial stability or the financial capability. And why all of this matters is that they want to see your financial behavior, like I said before, and over time, not one at a time. When you get a salary, it's normal that you want to feed the family, feed yourself, get one or two things for yourself and everything. So they expect that when the money comes in, it is normal that money should go out. And that is why remarks is always important when sending money out. It helps you to keep tracks of your finances, and they get to see your financial behavior, that okay, this person spent so amount out of the salary, so it remains this amount this month. Okay, he spends higher, okay, he spent lower, okay, he's cautious with his spending. You know, all of these kind of habits that people often overlook are those tiny minor details we never checked when we feel that we want to take a break or we want to travel, and we just felt that my visa rejections is my village people. But all these tiny things adds up to every part of rejection. So what is a better approach for you to do that? Instead of dropping a large chunk of money into your bank account, you should make sure that you maintain what we call a steady account activity. Yes, there should be consistency in your income inflow. There should be consistency. Consistency helps because when you do things over time, it's still the same bank account. They believe you work in an organization, you have a ties to your country, you have something that you are doing here. So you are not, it's not as if you want to leave and you're not going to return. So they believe that if you've been working with a company for 2 years or 3 years, there should be consistency. They're going to pay you each month, and it should reflect that it is coming from the company. And then with that, you do one or two things. So once they see that consistency, they believe that you have the financial stability for, you know, trying to go into their country. So another red flag that they check is that when you do not have a clear source of income, yes, you know, you show them money, but then there is no job. That's it. You show them that you have money, money is coming in, but who knows where the money is coming from? It's not coming, maybe you're working from an organization, or you have a brand that you set up for yourself. And that is why even if you're an entrepreneur, it's possible, it's always good that everything is well structured. If you are an entrepreneur and you pay yourself, it is good that you pay from your bank account into your normal account if you are using it, because it shows that, okay, I work for myself, it's well organized, it's well structured in my country, and then I pay myself. So when they see that the money comes in from your company's bank account to your account, they know that there is consistency. So if you have the large amount of money in your bank account and it shows that you do not have a clear job, it is another red flag. You don't even have a registered business, and there is no explanation for the money in your account. It's going to arouse suspicion, and when it arouses that, it's not going to help. An embassy will be concerned, where is this money coming from? Is this money, is it legal? They ask that questions because they don't want to deal with what is illegal. And, you know, unexplained money creates suspicion. They start thinking, is this person into money laundering? Are you trying to use this travel to cover up and, you know, move a large chunk of money out of the country and all of that? And another red flag before we talk to the travel expert is that when you have a weak travel history, now if you're applying for the United Kingdom, for the United States of America, or Canada, or Schengen countries, and you do not have any previous travel records, yes, the embassy have this concern for first-time traveler, and there will be high migration risks. And your approach to this is that it is good that you start with easier entry country to build your travel history gradually. Yes, no matter where it is, you should try to do that to build it up. So let's take a moment. When I come back, I will be bringing in the travel expert, and we'll ask one or two questions about the visa application errors and what people do wrong and make their visa to be rejected. We're going to talk about that, and also you get to ask your questions. So do not forget that we are live on Facebook and also on YouTube, JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and we're also live on the website on www.jdnradio1015.com, and also on Radio Garden, JDN Radio 101.5 FM. It's still Travel with Ease, your travel companion on radio.
3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Travel with ease. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets prosperity. See the world a smarter way. Open your mind. See the world with ease. Learn as you travel. Travel with ease. Travel with ease. Stress-free journey. Your education, travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meet discover. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Travel with ease, learn it right. Education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, day or night. Your trusted voice on radio. Yeah. With Abiodun Samson on the mic. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. On JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Every with peace. Their education and travel simple. Travel with ease. Stress-free journey. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets discovery. See the world a smarter way. Travel with ease. Yeah. Yeah. Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Oh, travel with ease. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets discovery. See the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go. Books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Oh, travel with ease. Learn it.
Welcome back. It's still Travel with Ease on your dial 101.5 FM. And with me here, Val, we'll be connecting with this person. Is Abdulateef Olayinka Gabra. He's a travel expert. And I want him to talk to us about what he feels about visa application errors. His view about it for people that are planning to travel. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, good
Hello.
afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. I can hear you.
All right. Please, can you tell our audience your name?
Okay, my name is Abdulateef Olayinka Garba.
Okay. All right. So I told them that I have a travel expert that would, emphasize more on visa application. What can you tell us about visa application errors and how does it affect clients?
Well, this is a great topic and a great question. Thanks for having me here today.
You're welcome.
It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Okay.
So on this topic, it's something very broad that everyone who is having intention to apply should pay attention to. It's really going to help, you know. And I will start by saying, errors that people should take note of when applying for visa application to avoid visa refusers. There are a couple of them, but I will just limit it to at least a bit of it.
Okay.
Number one of it is making sure that you go through your form before finally submitting it. It's very, very important. And if you, in any way, not the one applying for yourself, if you have been using agencies, make sure you go through your document prior to their submission, because a whole lot of people out there possibly one way or the other misrepresent your information when they are, keying it into the application. And some of them are doing it not intentionally to blackmail or to cause you any damage, but in order to, they think they are doing you favor, trying to assist you boost your status in order to, get the visa, issued. However, this is causing a lot of damage for a lot of people. What do I mean? Sometimes if you have applied for visa in the past for yourself, you possibly have, represented yourself the right way, and you still get refused. And you feel this might be because you are not expert enough in this, and then you want someone to do it for you. So him failing to ask you about your previous application possibly will misrepresent you with information he has or he thinks best fits for the application he's doing at the moment. I don't know if you are getting my point here.
I get you.
So let's take, for instance, as an applicant who approached you, to apply on their behalf, you now feel, okay, to make this visa application go well, I should represent this person as a doctor. Meanwhile, this person is a mere nurse assistant, for instance, and then you said he's a doctor. By so doing, let's take Canada as a case study, for instance, because a lot of people from Nigeria love to go to Canada or love to apply to Canada. So if you have applied to Canada in the past, Canada have your information on their database for at least 10 years. For at least 10 years. She has already applied, for instance, as a nurse assistant. And then you feel because you are an agent and you want to boost her status, you decided to switch her status for a doctor. So this will contradict what they already have on their system. And with no further explanation for coming from you, or possibly showing that she has upgraded her status within the last time and now, this is a contradiction, and it's definitely going to be a refusal, if not a ban. So these are one of those reasons why you get visa refusal. So before you can submit any application at all, ask to let you see it, or possibly if you're applying yourself, be very sure that you're keying in the right information about yourself. That's one. Another thing is about your statement of account. I've heard you've done a lot of work, regards to this. I heard what you were saying. I've been with you all the way. So I heard what you were saying about statement of account. It's good to run your accounts. It's good to run your account if you are going to be using it for travel. However, you can use sponsor in some cases.
Okay.
You can use some sponsor. Yes, in some cases, you might decide, okay, I want to use a sponsor. My dad will be sponsoring me on this application. And that is with exceptional cases, like you are a student. If you are a student, for instance, you're applying to go study in Canada, someone can sponsor your study, So, and that might be your husband. It could be your husband, it could be your dad, it could be a relative, provided you are able to establish the relationship you have with this person, So with that person account, it can go in for you to cover you up for the application. However, if you choose to use your own application and you choose to use your own statement of account, be very certain that the account you are using, is not carrying wrong figures. What do I mean wrong figures? You think if they see a huge sum of amount in your account, all of a sudden they will grant your visa. It doesn't go that way. It doesn't work that way. You may introduce a huge amount in your account all of a sudden. Yes, provided you can explain this. Because you're not going to be there when the visa officer is going to be checking your document. So if you all of a sudden push in, let's say 10 million into an account that has never experienced such an amount, you should be able to explain where the source is coming from with a proof. So you could easily say, possibly you've sold a property that belongs to you, showing a document that shows you have transferred this ownership to the person buying, which reflects the same name that appears in your account that is dropping the money in your account. So this way, you are able to explain and establish how you are able to get that money. If you are not going to be doing this, doing such a thing, taking such a risk of putting a huge sum of amount in your account will earn you refusal because they can't trust the money. They can't trust the source. And you must be able to give a source to whatever you are using to do your application. Another thing that could result to visa refusal is when you are not able to establish very well, convincingly, that you have a lot of reason to return back to your home country. We call this we call it home ties. You have to be able to establish a home ties that, okay, when I'm visiting your country, I'm only coming for the purpose of visiting, for the purpose of resting. Because I believe so much in my own country. I have what I'm doing here. How do you demonstrate you have what you're doing here? By showing them that you have a statement of, you have, I beg your pardon, you have your offer letter from the company you're working with, which shows that you are doing very well in your company, and then you must have an introduction letter from your organizations introducing you that, oh, he is a good staff, he's been wonderful with us, he's only going on a trip and he'll be returning back to us. So all this will assist you in your application. If you have not been able to demonstrate enough that you have a lot of reason to come back to your home country, you definitely get a refusal, I promise you this. And however, you can as well use, your marriage certificates to show that you are married and you're not coming with your family. You'll be going on your holiday and you'll be back. So if you are going on holiday, you know what that means. You have enough money to go around because you don't go on holiday and start looking for a sponsor, except your company is sponsoring you. If you are going on holiday, you cannot use sponsor accounts. You can't try that because why should somebody sponsor you on holiday if it's not your husband, it's not your dad telling you, okay, just go and have some fun. So if anybody is sponsoring you in this case, I don't think it's necessary. So you have to try and sponsor yourself when you're going on holiday. And then you must be able to demonstrate that you have enough to go around for your trip. Your round ticket is booked already. You have your travel insurance and you have your hotel reservation, yet you have enough money to take care of yourself while you're staying over there. And then sometimes your travel history also help in these regards.
Let me come in there. What of those that do not have any travel history? Do they have to go to other countries? Some people do say if you've not been approved by the United Kingdom, that you cannot enter any other country. So if you go to a lesser country, it will be very, very difficult for you to get to the United Kingdom. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, if you insist that somebody must have a travel history before you travel abroad, so what about the first country you'll be traveling to? And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you don't need a travel history, but it's not so important. It's not so compulsory. That's my point here. Okay. Because you have to travel somewhere. You have to travel somewhere before you have an history.
Yes.
Now, this is the first time you're traveling. It doesn't mean that you don't have a chance.
Okay.
No. So you have other things to buttress your reasons for traveling. However, it is very good. Yes, but it is very good to have travel history. It strengthens your applications. It shows that, oh, this social person has been traveling out and then he has never defaulted anywhere he travels to. He travels to this country, he returned at the time he said he was going to be leaving. So this shows that this shows the level of integrity in your application that, no, this person is a traveler, he's been traveling, and then it will make your visa comes easy. But however, if you don't have a travel history, don't bother yourself. Don't stress yourself if you cannot afford going to any other places. Don't stress yourself. Put that money together and make a very good application. Make a very good application. Introduce it in a country where you don't have interview, like US. If it is Canada, they don't have a way to see you to explain yourself. You have to put it in written. And if you are putting this in written,
a cover letter, right?
Exactly, it's called cover letter. Yeah. So you have to write a good cover letter because you are not going to be there. This is what is going to be speaking on your behalf. So you must explain your trip in details. I'll be spending this social period in your country. I have my ticket booked already, to and fro. I have my hotel reservation booked already. I have my tour guide paid already. If you demonstrate all this, they will believe you. You start somewhere. You can start with any country. However, you must have a strong application to get visa issued. That's it.
Okay. Have you been surprised by a visa rejection before? Maybe in your years of working as a travel expert? And how do you
Oh
feel?
yes, so many times.
Wow. So
Yeah, well, yes.
can you share your experience
It's
with
it's
us?
not even. I definitely will. It's not even. It's not something to. Because if anyone is telling you out there that is assuring you of 100% visa issuance, you should pick your race. I assure you of this. You should pick your race because there's nothing like 100% anywhere. The visa issuance is, solely relaxed. Is solely in the hands of the consular alone. Even at the time, you might have all your documents intact, and then the consular still feels, it still feels you have not met exactly what you want, and then still refused you. So this happens at times. So that's the reason why you have reasons to reapply or reappeal. You can appeal, you can reapply, to prove your innocence, to prove your intention, but don't be desperate when you are applying because they read through the lines when you are writing to them. They read, yes. So if you are so desperate to come into their country, they have intention. They know that you have another intention of staying back in their country. So you don't have to be so desperate. You have to let them know you value where you are living at the moment. You value your country. You love your country. That way, you will get their attention. But if you are desperate in coming into your country, they are not going to issue. So in the past, you asked me, in the past, if I've gotten refusal, yes, I have. I've gotten refusals, and we have gotten refusal at the point and review and still get issued afterwards. So it's like that. So probably something is not clear enough. So there's nothing like they will wait for you to clarify. They will refuse you, and then if you feel you can do something about the points they have raised, then you appeal, and then you submit your application. You still get the visa if you are able to meet exactly what they want. So the refusal is not the end of it. You can try again.
Okay.
That's just it.
So which error leads to the highest number of rejection? From your own statistics, which error leads to the highest number of rejection?
I must tell you, there are some errors that can be considered, in fact, that can lead to ban.
Ban.
And one of those errors, yes, ban. So one of those errors has to do with financial errors. Maybe you presenting an account statement that is fake. I want to use that exactly. A lot of people risk this, thinking they're never going to verify. They're never going to verify. These people verify. They may not have to verify the entire document. They may not have to verify the entire applicant. But the moment they spot a reason to doubt you, I bet you they are going to verify your document. And once they do, and they spot that error that you actually fabricated something to submit your application, you are getting banned. And if you are getting banned, don't forget, if you are applying to a country like UK, Canada, USA, these people have database that can see through each other. So if you get a ban from Canada, I'm afraid you may not be getting visa to UK and Canada and to US, sorry. So this is it. So you have to be very careful when you're applying for visa. Once you are approaching a travel agent who says, oh, I can assist you, you don't need to bring a statement of account. Be very, very wary. Be very, very careful. You should ask, how do you want to do that? How do you want to prove that I have enough money to take care of my trip when you submit my application? You should ask questions. Don't just pay money and sit down, expect things to be done. Not even because of this application. It might be because of your next application. Because if this is applied and successfully issued, what about the next time you're going to be applying? Do you even know the information submitted for you? So be careful with statement of account. It's very important. It's the largest error you can commit when you're applying. Every other thing is correctable.
All right. So what do you have for someone that is planning to travel and hearing all of this? What do you have to say today? Some people hear all of this and they get scared of even making an attempt to say, okay, I want to travel. So what do you have to say to them on
So I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this today. You see, traveling is part of education. However, you've got to take your time. You don't just dabble into it. Take your time, prepare, plan ahead. You should plan ahead of the application. You have to possibly make your research on your own. See, the only thing that is differentiating you from the visa officer that is applying for you or the agent that is applying for you is the information. He has the information you don't have. I mean, where do you get this information from? Go straight to the country you're trying to apply. Go straight to their embassy. Go straight to their website. Every information you need is right there. Every information you need to apply for application is right there. So you might probably need to ask questions here and there to support whatever you are going to be putting together. So it's not a big deal. Don't stress yourself out. Take your time, put your document together, and be certain that you have put the right document together. If possible, legalize your document to show you have the right document with you in the case of probably study or anything like that. So
all right.
It's a big place, it's a big explore. Travels is something good, so anyone can travel.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdulateef Olayinka Garba. It's a travel expert. And where are you speaking to us from?
I don't know if that's necessary, though, but I'm somewhere around the world.
Yeah, somewhere around the world. Okay, no problem. I know you want to keep it private, so no problem. All right, thank you so much for having us, and we really appreciate your insight on the topic on the visa application error. I hope if we call you once another time, you would be able to oblige us.
Anytime, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right.
Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Oh, travel with peace. Stress-free journey. Your education.
All right, you have it there with our travel expert. He has really expatiated on issues that has to do with visa application errors, and he tried to lighten the whole issues about travel history. Yes, some people might be thinking that for me to travel all this place, he said it's a kind of light issue, but the most important thing is that you make sure you cross-check your application. It's very, very important. So if you have one or two things that you want to ask questions on, we're connected via online, and you want to ask any questions, you can go to our Facebook, drop your questions. I would give you the right answer. And if you want to also pull a call through into the studio to ask one or two questions that you feel you want to ask about visa application error, you can call into the studio line on 07048 and 08022102163. 08022102163 and 07048 is the number to call to be part of the conversation this afternoon on the visa application error. And also you can send a WhatsApp message to 091-320-69135, 091-320-69135. And we are still looking at the visa application error on Travel With Ease on your dial 101.5 FM, your travel companion on radio.
Radio 101.5 FM, Travel With Ease. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with peace. Stress-free journeys. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease. Knowledge meets prosperity. See the world a smarter way. Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel, travel with peace. Travel with ease, stress-free journey.
All right, if you try 07048001015 and it's not connecting, you can try 08022102163. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Adebayo from Bodija.
Adebayo from Bodija.
Yes.
Okay.
I wish I could be able to speak directly with the expert because you did well and he has already added a lot of information as well too.
Okay,
I
thank
have my
you.
questions I want to ask.
Okay.
I want to know if after being denied visa, despite all documentations completed, because we were talking about reappealing. You understand? I want to know if reappealing will really cost anything, or it just goes with the original visa application fee.
Okay. So your question is all right.
I hope you can get me right.
Yes, you said that. Does it cost any extra fee for appealing or reappealing of application? For reappealing.
Yes.
Does it
Yes.
cost extra aside from the payment for the visa, initial visa?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay.
And I have there is a second question.
Okay.
It's based on what you said too. Was there any waiver for being rejected and was able to put forward the source of such huge money? When you were talking about just any huge money entering into the account, but it could be a person who was able to defend it later. Was there any waiver that will be given? That's what I want to know about.
Okay,
After being
waiver.
rejected. Yes.
Okay, after being rejected.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for this question, Mr. Adebayo from Bodija.
Peace, oh, travel with peace, stress-free journey, your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meets discovery, see the world the smarter way. From visas and flights to places to go, books that teach you all you should know. We read, review, and guide your way. Learning and travel side by side each day. Oh.
All right, so if you have any other questions that you want to ask the travel expert, like Mr. Adebayo from Bodija, he asked that after being rejected, he made mention of appealing for it. So he's asking for the cost. So I will see if I can, with the time we have, if I will be able to pull a call through and, try to get your question sorted. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon. Your name?
My name is Akim. I'm calling from Ukiadu here.
Okay, Akim from Ukiadu.
Yes.
All right.
I want to ask if multiple applications can be done on the same statement of account, like going to different places on the same statement of account, the same period.
Multiple application.
On the same statement of account at the same period.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Travel simplified, travel with ease, stress-free journeys, your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meets prosperity, see the world a smarter way. Open your mind, see the world with ease. Learn as you travel.
Hello? Hello?
Your education, travel simplified. Travel with ease, knowledge meet discover. See the world the smarter way.
All right. right, please, if you have any questions on this visa application errors that people make and you want to just get all of your answers, I would have loved to pull a call through right now for you to get the answer firsthand. But for Mr. Akim and Mr. Adebayo from Bodija and Akim from Ukiado, I asked the questions on running multiple applications on same statement of account at the same period, and also for reappealing after rejection. I promise I would get your question across, and maybe a vox pop would be sent, and I would be able to play it for you by next week. Yes, I'll be able to play it for you by next week because time is no longer on our side, and another program is actually coming up right about now, and I would not want to take much of our time, so I want you to just keep it locked down by next week, Mr. Adebayo and Mr. Akim, on your questions, and I know it will be dealt with seriously by the travel expert, and you will be able to get every of the things that you need to know. And on that, on travel application error on Travel with Ease, your travel companion on radio, we want to say that when you are applying for a visa, that your visa application speaks for you. Yes, make sure you tell us the truth about you. Make sure it is complete, and make sure that it is consistent, because one small mistake can cost you the entire opportunity. And I want to say that it is good to travel smart, and it is also good to travel informed, and it's also good to travel with ease. With us on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And on that note, I want to appreciate everyone that has been part of this program this afternoon on the topic visa application error, to our guest, the travel expert that was here to buttress our points on travel application error, Mr. Abdulateef Olayinka Garba, a travel expert, and also Mr. Adebayo that has been part of us, and Akim that called in to ask 1 or 2 questions, which I promise that your questions will be sorted. And to everyone that I've listened, that I've gotten 1 or 2 things about traveling, getting the application, having a travel agency, it's not enough than you trying to go through your application. And if they tell you that you don't need bank account, that do not worry, you should try and ask why and how they do it without not you giving them your own personal bank account for them to see your financial behavior, like I've said before. So on that note, I'll say special thanks to Yeye Bisiduro Sharo Joy, Akinlolu Aishat, Oyedele, and Olabode Makinwa, to my studio manager, Bolade OSHO, and also to the transmitter engineer, Big Ben Fadipe and Kayode Olawi. To the social media, those that made it possible for us this afternoon supporting us, we have Deborah, we have Olatudo, we have Abib, and also Emmanuel, and with them, with Samuel. And I remain Abiodun Samson. Till I come your way next week for another interesting episode, and also answers to the questions that have been asked this afternoon. I will bring your answers to you by next week. So keep it a dial on this station, on this frequency, 101.5 FM, JDN Radio. I remain Abiodun Samson. Till then, make sure that when you are traveling, you gather enough information, you travel smarter, and do not forget that you tune in for your travel companion on radio. Travel with Ease on JDN Radio 101.5 FM.
105 FM, travel with ease. Your education and travel simplified. Travel with ease.